Welcome to the Deep Dive and welcome to Inside Texas Football, powered by InsideTexas.com. Make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you show your love for this show and the undefeated #1 ranked Texas Longhorns. Use promo code IT1 to get 2 months for $1 at Inside Texas. It's the premier place to have your Longhorn and sporting conversations, as well as all sorts of other random stuff that we get up to that's always fun and funny. I'm Paul Wadlington. That's Ian Boyd. We may see a little of Izzy, but we're not sure about that. Depends on how she fares on the ground with the cat. And we're going to talk about a player that you may not have heard of. His name is Arch Manning. It's Arch Madness today on the Deep Dive. So what we're going to do is break down some of Arch Manning's 7 touchdowns this year. 7, count them. And we're going to talk about what sort of traits he has as a quarterback, what he brings to the offense, and how that projects not only for this year. Of course, he's probably going to be starting for us against ULM, possibly maybe even the week after, but also for the remainder of his career. So those clips will basically just be a means and a vehicle to talk about what Arch Manning brings to this football team and sort of what his skill set is. There's Izzy. Now we're whole. Now we're ready. So without any further ado, one quick caveat. Quinn Ewers is the starting quarterback at the University of Texas. He's leveled up from last year. He leveled up from the year before then. He's looked great in the offense. The opening drive against UTSA, he was incredibly efficient, 7 of 8, 77 yards, a touchdown. Of course, he went out with the injury. He's the quarterback. This isn't trying to spark a quarterback controversy, but it is trying to show how blessed we are. Hashtag blessed, Ian, that we've got 2 of the top 5, 6, 8, 3 quarterbacks in the country on the same football team. Pick your number, but we've got 2 of the best, and Arch Manning is one of them. And we want to talk about what makes him special and why he's going to be such a special quarterback for the University of Texas. So, Ian, without any further ado, lead us through his first touchdown. This is against Colorado State.
Yeah, it's really funny if this keeps up. If we did like a what teams would Arch start for in college football? That would be that'd be hilarious content.
Deion's not going to bench Shedeur even if Arch outplays him in practice. So there's one. Georgia, I guess they're happy with Carson Beck. Jackson Dart at Ole Miss, I guess, knows. I don't know. That would be an interesting battle. I don't know. We'll have to ruminate.
Yeah, we'll save it for if he has like 700 yards on a ULM, then we can get into the Arch Mania.
Sounds good. All right, so we've got a straightforward quarterback sneak here, Ian. Walk us through it.
The quarterback receives the snap and dives forward for a touchdown. We could actually get it one more time, Mr. Producer. Pre-snap, you can kind of pick a lot of times as a quarterback where you're going to go based on the alignment of the tackles. Sometimes when teams line up in obvious sneaks, I'll like watch and I can guess where the quarterback will try to go.
Yep.
Based on like if there's a defensive tackle lined up across from all 3 interior offensive linemen, then you just kind of pick a matchup. Otherwise, maybe you're like aiming for the bubble where there's not a defensive tackle's body immediately there. When Philly was like just dominating teams with the tush push, and some people were like, we need to make this illegal. Like, this is ridiculous. This is ruining the game. But then they didn't, and it was partly because other teams would run the tush push and they wouldn't be very good at it.
Yep.
It's because it's like, oh, not every quarterback can squat like 600 pounds like Jalen Hurts. And not everyone has this like short, extremely compact athletic center snapping the ball. I think Arch Manning is uniquely skilled at quarterback sneaks because he's got uncles that have done it at a professional level and know all the little tricks to it. He's 6'4", 220. So when he dives forward, he's got all this like size and reach to get across. And he also he knows the little tricks. Like here's how to know where you're going to be. The line is going to be vulnerable. I just feel like he's just grown up around the little subtle tricks of the trade that make a play like that work.
Yeah, and to your point about Jalen Hurts, Arch big lower body, big thighs,
Yeah.
big lower half. He's a big, strong guy, and we'll see some more evidence of that later in these touchdowns as we break them down. All right, next clip, Homer. Cue us up. All right, this is going to be, I believe, a touchdown to Ryan Wingo. Oh, no, Isaiah Bond. So this is probably Arch's just run the system, let the other players around you make the plays kind of play we've got here. We're going to be throwing the ball here. It's 3rd and long, and we're going to set up a nice little screen down here on the bottom. Or I thought it was 3rd and long. I guess it's not. It's 1st and 10. It's about to be 3rd and forever for Louisiana Monroe from a game outcome standpoint. Here we go. All right, Isaiah Bond. He threw the ball correctly, and Isaiah Bond does the rest. That guy's fast. He got up, according to Real Analytics, Bond got up to 22.1 miles per hour on that, and you could see he just strided out the last 15. But yeah, Arch is going to get this snap. There's really not any read here. This is all predetermined. You can already see the action developing out here, and good perimeter block out here. Deandre Moore, nice job. The other receiver gets a block, but he actually gets jacked up. But that allows Bond to get the corner. Oh! But Bond gets the corner there. But a nice job by Deandre Moore getting that initial seal, so you didn't get an extra guy leaking down. But yeah, you get the hand on your playmaker, and the rest is easy in this instance. And that play. Once Bond gets a corner, he's going to score on any team in the country. So, Ian, any thoughts to polish that one off?
I love the spacing on that play where it's like a bubble screen, but they're like flaring out to the wide side of the field after the snap.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like stationary block. It's like run and block. It's like the wide zone of bubble screens, right? It's like we're going to make you move and beat a block on the run and not just run downhill at a stationary receiver that's supposed to block you on a normal.
That's a great description.
And it is possible that there's a read here because the backside linebacker stays flat for the run. So it's possible Arch reads him and it's like, oh, he's going to stay in the box for the run. Then they're going to be outnumbered on the bubble. It could also be predetermined. Be an interesting thing to watch, maybe against ULM, is whether.
Yeah, if we add a little run to this where there is a read, I'm 95% certain this is just a play call. But you can add a read element to it. You're right. Great point, Ian. All right, let's move on to the next clip. Ian, passing it off to you, my man.
Yeah, so what we have here is, I believe this is like one of those like outside zone rollouts that Uncle Peyton used to run a ton and is like turned many a mid quarterback in the NFL into a gunslinging weapon.
Late motion from the pistol.
Yep.
Walk us through the geometry of this triangle that's flowing with Arch across the field that gives him the reads.
So they've got, is it the guy in motion runs a flat route, right? Across so they have one receiver in motion that runs a flat route. And that's an immediate stress on the defense. You've got the tight end to that side running a corner route at the next level. And then you've got a guy, or actually at the 3rd level, and then you got a guy running from all the way across the formation at the intermediate level.
Yep, the back side of the formation up on top. Deandre Moore is coming across the field on a drag, and he's the last read.
Yeah, so you're going.
Arch actually went through a progression there.
Yeah, so you've got the outside zone action to the short side, and on outside zone, the linemen are really moving. So they're actually not really running outside zone, but they're running downhill in that area. That holds the linebackers initially. Then you have the first read is that flat player that's in motion. And it's like, hey, if they didn't adjust to motion, then this guy's just going to be running free into the flat. You toss it. They actually cover him. So then you look at the tight end on the corner route. Okay, well, their defender was able to pick him up. But now the odds that there's somebody still in position to pick up Deandre Moore dragging from the other side of the field, really low. Arch Manning gets through it quickly enough to where if you go through these progressions slowly, the defense can maybe take one guy away, but then move to pick up the next. He goes through it too quickly. He gets the ball out. Touchdown.
Yeah, and a point of instruction, always fear a passing quarterback on the perimeter. If you don't have him boxed in and he's got a clear sight line and he's got multiple targets and he's on the move, because your defense is on the move as well, trying to run with these options and concepts. If he makes good decisions, it's just going to be a completion. There's just not a ton you can do about it unless you have exceptional athletes in that secondary who can, bait him or maybe make a play on the ball.
And the linebackers too. That plays really hard on the linebackers. So
yeah, they got to respect that little fake dive effectively into the line of scrimmage from the pistol, right? Because the pistol, as a linebacker, you're taught, hey, that's kind of a run-heavy formation, right? This is a downhill running formation. You've got to respect that runner. If you don't, Texas is going to come back to that and hand the ball off. And we'll see later. There's some permutations on this play.
Yeah, what's next?
Feed us. Oh, I know this one. 1st and 10. We're up 28. We're going to take our shot downfield. Arch finds Ryan Wingo wide open. The safety fell down. He fell down in part because Ryan Wingo's big, strong, and fast. And when a guy like that's running at you, you try to recover and your feet get tangled, and Ryan is wide open. So Arch there, he's got to wait for it a little bit. Arch sees that he's wide open. His goal is just to get him the ball. He wants to throw him a catchable ball. He's not trying to throw a dime here. DJ Campbell, you may notice on the play action, sets out too far wide. He allows the inside, which is a big no-no as a pass blocker. So you'll see the UTS guy on the top make an inside move because DJ's set up too wide. And actually, Arch is going to get hit right after he releases this by two guys. So nice job here by Arch, just holding in that pocket, getting it go and letting it go and throwing a catchable ball to Wingo.
Maybe one thing in defense of Campbell is that guy has so much space to come at him. But he absolutely overextends. It's like, hey.
Yeah, the basic rule as a blocker there is make him run around you. If you're in a lot of space, make him run around you. Don't let him run the straightest, the closest. I was trying to say the closest distance between two lines is a straight point. That didn't quite come out right. I think you guys got it. This is a good example of Arch standing in there, getting rid of it. Wingo does Wingo stuff, which is be big, strong, and fast. And big play for Texas. Clearly, Arch is looking for that. Arch has a downfield bias. He likes to let the ball go deep.
Yep. One more thing on Campbell. You can tell he's the timing of it is he's unused to the timing of picking up a blitzer from 20 yards away. Because the guy catches him like in transition without his feet set.
We also got a Juan Davis Olay block up front as well. That allowed the inside guy to get the hit on Arch. So Juan has been a good run blocker as an aside, but he needs to really improve his pass protection. He's had 3 consecutive games where he's busted on pass pro.
It's just how it goes.
It is how it goes. There's a lot going on.
They give up a huge hit on their quarterback at least once every 3 weeks because Jatavian Sanders or Gunnar Helm or Juan Davis or somebody just gets dominated on some crucial block on play action.
Well, there's a lot going on out there on the field, Ian. Just like there's a lot going on out there with interest rates and the financial markets, you need the best possible ally on your side. You need the Arch Manning of mortgages. That's Gabe Winslow. You can reach him at 832-557-1095. Hey, right now, if you've bought a house in the last 2 years where you've got a higher interest rate, call Gabe right now. Like literally pick up your phone and call him, 832-557-1095, and say, Paul and Ian want me to refi for free. They sent me to you. And this is not a gimmick. I promise you, if you have a higher rate, he will get you in a lower rate, and he can do it for free in almost all circumstances. Give him a call, find out how he does it. and it's basically magic. We've already had a couple of people take us up on that offer, and I got a email of profuse thanks from one of them. Give them a call, 832-557-1095. All right, producer Connor, let's see some more Arch magic. Okay, hold on here. This is great, Ian. This is a great example of creativity. I'll let you go here.
They got Silas Bolden in motion, and it looks like they have like a high-low between him and the receiver to that side. And then they have three guys in like a sort of spacer to the field.
Would you call that a bunch formation?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So the idea is like the defense ideally struggles to pick up their guys in time. And that moment of hesitation of either trying to figure out who's got who or running into each other, trying to get out of the compression into space, open somebody up. They did actually it looks like the corner route is running, Juan Davis is running totally free. It's hard to say because the defender saw Arch bail out of the pocket in the other direction.
What's interesting is if you look at the top of the screen.
That's what I'm looking at. Yeah.
Okay. You see Juan Davis open there?
No, it's after Arch tucks, honestly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's after. So I think initially Colorado State does a great job here.
Yeah.
And then Arch tucks and looks somewhere else, and I think they disregard. You're right.
I think you're right. Yeah. So he drops back. It's not there initially. They're actually getting hands on Juan Davis. He sees wide open space right in front of him. He bails. The guy goes for him. He turns it into an option play. Very Quinn-like play. Quinn is like uniquely good at like when he just kind of flips it like this.
Yeah.
It's amazing touch and zip on it. Arch didn't really get amazing touch or zip. He didn't need to. Just tosses it over there.
I think initially here when he's fleeing the pocket, he's thinking run, but Colorado State has that well defended. So he goes, all right, let me run laterally here and see what eventuates. Oh, there's Silas. There's my outlet. And I think Bolden makes it extra sweet with the exclamation by diving in, which was probably not needed, but it made it more fun.
Yeah. I think this kind of speaks to like a big question with Arch Manning is that a lot of his competition in high school was not elite.
Right? Or very athletic.
So you're like, what's going to happen? Like the typical knock on Arch has been like, oh, he's a 3-star with a famous last name. Wait till he plays real athletes. He looks really freaking comfortable against athletes here.
Yeah.
It's Colorado State, but Colorado State, it's not like Arch Manning's opponents in high school were going to Colorado State, And he just, the speed of the game is generally pretty slow for him.
Yeah, good athleticism, good processing results in good stuff when your quarterback has all these other attributes and helps to be 6'4", 225. This is my favorite throw. It's the best throw I've ever seen Arch make in a football game. And I want to talk about this. This is an RPO. We are actually run blocking up front because this is a true RPO. He's going to fake that handoff, and he is immediately looking. I would call this a smash inside fade concept. If you want to laugh, look at what the top receiver coming towards Arch is doing. He's not the one who's going to catch it. Watch what the UTSA guy does to him. Just levels him, even though the ball's in the air. He doesn't care. And then Arch is going to throw a beautiful ball here. And I call it an inside fade because the goal is not to get to the pylon. He actually had a release inside of the defender. The only person on the planet who can catch that ball is Jonte Cook. And Jonte runs a nice route here, but the coverage is not bad. The guy's trailing him. He's in a decent trail position. He doesn't get his head around, so he can't make a play on the ball. But the only person on the planet who can catch that ball is Jonte Cook. That's a great throw from Arch. And Ian, you noted when we were kind of talking about this before, look how in position Arch is after the play fake to throw the ball right away. Look at him. Look at that. Shoulders, perfect. Like his foot alignment, everything is just, I'm ready to throw the football. But he actually rode that fake there pretty well. He didn't just do a little cursory fake. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, the footwork and the timing is always very good. I think actually it was our producer Connor that noted this, not me, just to give him his flowers. But like Quinn can be very good at RPOs at times because he's so good at throwing these balls without having the ideal timing of his footwork and everything. Arch is much more like robotic in a good way, mechanical.
He does the same thing every time, right?
Yeah, so the timing is always right. He's got his plant foot set, and his like forward stepping foot is ready on time to have his whole body be in rhythm on the throw.
Yeah, and a real play fake there, not just a little cursory, let me lower the ball slightly and then get ready to throw. That was a characteristic of his Manning uncles. Peyton, very good ball handler. So was Eli, actually.
This is
that's underrated in terms of how it can fool people.
That was something that Baker Mayfield was amazing at
yeah, he was a slick ball. He was a great ball handler.
And I don't know if he was always that way. Baker's pretty smart, honestly. He may have always been that way, but it may have also been that he got 5 years in college, and all of them with either Cliff Kingsbury or Lincoln Riley, plus Lake Travis coaching. But Arch Manning, this is one of those things, like we're going to sound like arch truthers, but it's just one of those things when everyone in your family who's an adult male is like in the NFL, except your injured dad, then it's so much easier to pick up on all these little subtle tricks of the trade from a younger age.
Yep, I think that's true. Now, beyond the mechanical stuff we're praising him for, Arch is a pretty good athlete.
It's just that one.
Evidence. So we told you we're going to see some more aspects of that little half roll where you fake the dive effectively in a zone read. We want to show you a true zone read here where UTSA is not respecting Arch as a runner. Look, they're gonna go on this dive hard. And by the way, the offensive line's doing a nice job. If he'd handed it off here, we would have actually had positive yardage. But Arch sees that edge make a hard bite, and he says, I'm going to keep it. And now we're going to see something pretty special in the open field here. He's going to set up this safety, and this safety is going to catch real hell in the film room on Sunday. And he's going to accelerate 20.7 miles per hour here on GPS Real Analytics. That's not bad. That's pretty athletic. What I love about Arch, as he's scoring, he turns and looks at the guy and tells him a little something about it. And 67 yards later, that's a touchdown. That is an element of the game that we have not had from a Texas quarterback. Maybe some Sam Ehlinger. And frankly, Ehlinger probably wasn't quite as fast, right?
No, he wasn't. But you are forgetting Casey Thompson. I can't believe
I was not forgetting Casey Thompson.
No, Casey Thompson could do that a couple times in the game and hurt people. Not like he didn't have the top.
Compile a list of 67-yard Casey Thompson runs and send them to me after the show.
He had a couple of good ones, but he was like he was quick, but he didn't have Arch's long speed.
Yeah, big long legs, big strider. But again, this is an element that really can open up aspects of your running game. And we're not going to run Arch a bunch against ULM, but that hard crash, the keep, good blocking here on the perimeter, by the way. That was
you only
a nice
got to do
job.
it. You only got to do it like 3 times a game, Paul, so that they know they have to worry about it.
That's true. Who is that? Was that Matthew Golden or Jonte?
Golden. It's Golden.
Okay.
They ran the same play. I went over it live with Connor earlier. They ran the same play again, and the cornerback just darted past Golden and ran and made the tackle for a loss because he knew this time, like, I have to actually play backside contain.
Yeah.
I can't let the.
Well, so here's the other thing. Actually, if he had handed this off, we would have been fine. We would have gotten the first down. But
Yeah.
once you have guys hesitant to crash and you have guys that are hesitant to try to make a play on the backfield, because part of this is the angle of the handoff there, he's going to be fine. But if you run more inside, that defensive end crashing down can actually make a tackle for loss, right? If teams have to play that honestly, and they're going to have to start to, suddenly there's an element of your downhill running game, especially with like a Jarek Gibson, that you can just hit people 7, 8, 6, 8, 10 yards over and over and over. And it just adds an element to our run game and ultimately our play action passing game, because the other element of this is Arch fakes this. And then, of course, he does a little half roll. You have the release and you have that little triangle where he gets to do the read. It's just a really replicable series of plays that are easy, and there's no easy solution if you don't have the athletes or you don't have a great call on as a defensive coordinator.
Or you have to start adding complexity to your defense.
Never a good thing.
Which is, not ideal. And that's the Texas quarterback run is like, what, 10th on your list of concerns, 20th?
Yes.
So, it's really nightmarish. It's going to be fun when they have that more regularly. It's kind of, watching that one again reminded me of like 2007 when they ran a zone read and finally had Colt keep it. And he picked up like 10, 15 yards or something. And then Nebraska was like, oh, shoot. And then they started playing for Colt a little bit, and Jamal Charles ran for like 200 yards in a quarter and a half or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very interesting in the running game how just changing one or two elements of what an edge or a linebacker has to do on that play, it can change the whole complexion of your running game. Because if they're crashing, if they're cheating, all of your linemen can get their job done on the play side, the point of attack. But you have an unblocked crashing edge who ruins the whole party. And if you can contain and restrain that guy, boy, everything can open up. And it's a lot of virtuous circles in both your running and your play action passing game. So that has been our Arch Manning deep dive. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you use promo code IT1 to get 2 months for $1. Make sure you pay respect to Izzy sporting her muscle top Longhorn shirt. She looks like a cry of victory. She looks innocent and sweet. She's a grifter and a loan shark, and she'll be running Liberty Hill in no time. Ian, any final thoughts?
I have made this threat before. I'm going to make it again. If you guys don't click like and subscribe, you will get no Arch content next week on YouTube.
All right. He did his dad voice on that one. I think he's going to go through with this threat, people. But you better make sure you like and subscribe, and you better make sure you support our excellent sponsor, Gabe Winslow, 832-557-1095. He'll refi you for free. All right, Ian, this has been great. A lot of fun. Arch Manning content is always fun. It's always fun to look at what the future is going to be. But for now, Arch Manning is going to be our present, going to UNLM. And hook 'em horns, guys.